smashed to pieces. Crying in my room, got me on my knees. Text me that you're leaving, ain't no teasing. Broke me down cold, got me freezing. I saw you with another, tried to keep my cool.